Hey brides, welcome back to another episode of the Bridal Coach podcast, where you come to learn real and genuine tips on how to look and feel your best on your wedding day. Today we have a very hot topic, and I think it's probably going to be one of the most important podcasts I put out there. It's about bridal pressures, and this episode has been sparked from a lot of conversations with brides that I've worked with, brides that have just had conversations with me about feeling the pressure of being perfect, whether that's with weight loss, whether that's with their skin, hair, makeup. Like, the pressure leading up to your big day is massive. So we're going to be covering a lot of topics and a lot of things in the weight loss and fitness industry specifically that I think are a load of BS and overhyped, and that you shouldn't fall for. Things that you need to know in order to actually feel confident, because some things are bound to knock your confidence, and some things, like, they knock your self-esteem. And there is so much pressure to being perfect that if things don't go and don't look a certain way, you end up feeling like you have failed, or that it's not going to be a good day, or it's not going to be how you want it to be, when in reality we put too much pressure on ourselves. So this topic was sparked, like, I haven't really planned this podcast episode. Not really. I don't really plan them anyway. I just want to be chatting to you guys and actually just be raw and honest about my opinions and see where the conversation leads. But it really stemmed from a conversation that I had with a client yesterday. Now, this is actually a really sensitive topic for her and for a lot of brides, which is why I feel the need to speak about it, because if it's not addressed and if it's not made aware, then these things can become a lot bigger than what they are. And I'm not just talking about the wedding day, because that is just one day. I'm talking about how you're talking to yourself, what your goals are, why they are the way they are, like, what is your why? Something that I try and get all of my brides to speak about a lot and remember, like, what is your why? And this particular client, she came to me about 8 weeks ago now, wanting to lose weight, wanting to feel her best, and all of those things. Like, I remind brides that weight loss and wanting to feel your best and wanting to look your best on your big day is normal and is actually a really positive thing. Wanting to change your life in a healthy and sustainable way, like, weight loss on its own isn't a bad thing. I think people put a lot of, like, negative opinions out there on it. Or if you speak about it, or if you encourage it, it's seen as like a bad thing, or it's seen as like you're, encouraging people to body shame, or, like, feel bad about themselves, when that's not the reality of it. I think it's the total opposite, because how I see it is women don't come to me because they feel good. They come to me because they have insecurities. They come to me because they don't feel healthy. They come to me because they know there is an issue that has led from their weight, whether that's them feeling unconfident, whether that's them not being able to wear what they want to wear, whether that's them not being able to chase their children around the park because they feel out of breath, they don't want to grow old and have to struggle with the things they've been struggling with now, whether it's genuinely having some sort of medical condition because of their weight and because of their unhealthy habits. I don't see weight loss as a negative thing unless there have been negative reasons to why they are doing it. And it's come to my attention that there are a lot of negative pressures that come with being a bride and getting into the best shape of your life for your wedding. I think that's normal because, generally speaking, we want to look, we want to be smaller. We want to fit into the dress. We want our waist to be small, and we don't want bits of fat hanging over the wedding dress, and, like, we want to be able to be up dancing the whole time. So naturally that's going to come with, like, the idea that we have to be our smallest, or we want to be our smallest that we've been. Whether that means a size 6 or a size 16 is completely subjective to you. But this particular client, she's been starting to feel like less confident in herself, even though we're on a weight loss journey and she's making positive changes to her diet, to her lifestyle. We're building a better routine for herself. She has felt like the difference from before she got engaged to where she is now, her confidence has decreased. Like, she's like, I don't feel confident at all anymore. And she thought the complete opposite would happen, because she thought that this is what she needed, even though we've uncovered that it's not actually her reasoning for doing it. As soon as you get engaged, and I made a post about this a couple of weeks ago because I had been hearing about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is actually how it is for a lot of people. As soon as you get that ring put on your finger, family, friends, social media, everyone has an opinion, or everyone sort of pushes, not all the time, but a lot of the time, you're questioned what's going to be your wedding weight loss routine. What program are you going to start? Are you going to start going to the gym? Like, how much weight do you want to lose for your wedding? It's become the norm to question someone's weight, to question someone's appearance as soon as they get engaged. And there's nothing positive that can come from that. From other people's opinions. Like, as soon as if someone asked me, like, if I got engaged now, I'm not engaged, but hopefully in the near future, if someone asked me, as soon as I got engaged, oh, like, what are you going to be, are you going to start going to the gym? I'll be like, bitch, what? That is such a trigger. So no wonder if you've never questioned your appearance before, if you've never questioned losing weight, if you were happy in your skin before, and someone turns around to you and says, not just one person, multiple people, this particular woman, this particular client, she never questioned her weight, or like, she had some weight goals before, but it was never really a priority. She enjoyed, like, these were her words, she enjoys food, like, a lot. She enjoys socializing, going out for a few drinks, going out on the weekend. And it never really occurred to her that she wanted to go on a strict weight loss journey to reach a certain goal. Now, like, I'm sure everyone, even as myself, a personal trainer who's been going to the gym for 7 years plus and is in good shape, I'm not unhappy with where I am. But if someone, had a magic wand and turned around to me and said, do you want to change parts of yourself? Yeah, I probably would. Even though I spent so much time and effort on myself, there are still obviously parts of our body that we can change, right? But I'm not unhappy with where I am, and neither was she. So I can imagine that if someone turned around to me and said, well, like, what are you going to do about your weight loss journey? Excuse me? Why would you assume I'm going on a weight loss journey just because I've got a ring on my finger now? Like, who do these people think that they are? First of all. Second of all, is it their fault? Now, I'm not one to take away they have a brain, so they need to take responsibility. I'm not one to take responsibility away from people. I usually put the responsibility on people, like, choose your words wisely. But like, with today's social media and pressure to like I spoke about this in the previous podcast, to like, everything needs to be perfect because it's going to be on show. You've got photographers, now you've got content creators. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing until probably a couple months ago, that you can literally hire someone to come and video with a phone your whole day. Like, I just thought that was a videographer and a photographer's job. But no, you literally can hire someone who is an expert in social media. I don't really know how they are, because they literally just have an iPhone and they record the behind the scenes moments. But when you have the pressure of knowing that, these things are generally what people like pay for, then of course, like, there's no wonder why people are questioning if you're going to go on a weight loss journey, or if you have any thoughts of doing something about the way that you look, or if you're going to start, I mean, cosmetics is a different story, but this is the reality of the pressure that brides feel. I know brides that start Botox. I speak with a really, really good aesthetics company if you're local to Hertfordshire. They're in Berkhamsted. They're an amazing aesthetics company. Shout out to you, Kay. But she and I went live together, and we spoke about the pressures that brides feel to look and feel their best, and whether it is a case of like just doing it for your wedding or not. And like, a lot of people, they do start their cosmetics journey because of their engagement or because of their wedding. And it's the same with weight loss. And that is my whole business, you know. Like, a lot of these people have been on their weight loss journey before, whether it's Slimming World or whether it is just, you know, like trying to focus on their diet and calorie count and diet teas and stuff like that before. But now they're really, like, they want to take it seriously because they have a goal. It's the same for, like, cosmetics, for cosmetic surgery, lip filler, Botox, etc., right? You know the drill. Same with facials. Like, I won't lie to you, if I got engaged now, yes, I would be going to actually get religious facials maybe every month. So I get it, but that is not to say that we have to give in to these social standards, all of them. And I think you really, like, it becomes apparent what is important to you when that ring does get put on your finger, because we all give in to those pressures one way or another. You just have to, like, you really have to ask yourself, like, what is it that is important to me? What am I going to focus on, and how do I want to get there? Because the way that you do get there is going to affect your relationship with yourself and your self-esteem, right? And yeah, this became apparent to me when I really spoke to my client in detail yesterday and in depth, because when we had our first consultation, like, she was very much like, yeah, I really want to do this. Like, I want to feel my best. I want to look my best. I want to lose the weight. And then as we go on this journey, the pressure is immense. Like, she's looking at pictures of herself now, even though she's lost some weight and she feels better and healthier. She's looking back at pictures of herself that are taken now, and she's picking herself apart, when that is not what I want. It made me so sad when I spoke to her. We're really working together to uncover the root cause and figure out, like, how we get her back to her confidence. And you might be like, why are you sharing this? Because, like, these are your clients. But because it's the reality of it. And I've worked with so many brides and so many women. I've never had a woman come to me and say, I feel less confident now than I did before I started your program. So this is like a one-off, and that's why it shocked me. But I wanted to speak about it because it is so real, and I'm sure she's not the only one. And it scares me that, you know, she maybe wouldn't have spoken to me about it. Now, like, I make it very, very clear to my clients that communication is, like, number one, and honesty is number one as well. They're both up there. So I make sure that they're honest with me and that they communicate with me, because, like, this is so important for this exact reason. Like, if something feels off, if you're not feeling good, then we need to uncover why and go back to roots. So I'm happy that she spoke to me about it, but it makes me so sad to think that so many women are going through this. Like, she gave in to the pressure of feeling like she had to lose weight because of other people's comments and because of social pressures. And that's not what I want for my clients. So yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail about her journey and what we're doing together, but we are working very closely together to uncover, like, what it actually means to her. And I guess my advice to anyone who is going through a similar experience to her, or feels less confident now than they did before, or is picking themselves apart, thinking about what other people are going to think and thinking about what they're going to look like on their wedding day, my advice to you is sit with those thoughts and feelings and be aware of them as soon as they happen. As soon as you start to pick yourself apart, as soon as you look at a photo and you're like, you just don't like it for whatever reason, try and figure out the reason. And I'm not saying, like, oh, you don't like how your belly looks or your double chin. Like, these are, like, causes. I want to actually come to the root of where it's coming from. Like, why do you feel self-conscious about that now? Have you always felt self-conscious about it, or is it just coming up now? And understanding it is going to help you work through it, because if it's a mindset issue, then you can work on it through mindset. If it's an issue of, like, genuinely feeling unconfident because that has been affecting you for your whole life, then we can come to the understanding that, yeah, maybe something does need to change. And that, to me, is so powerful, because, like, coming to the root cause of the issue of like why you're feeling that way, whether it is just a mindset thing and there is nothing wrong with you. Not that there's anything wrong with you anyway, but I'm saying like there's nothing that you want to change, you just feel pressure from other people, then that is a mindset issue and we need to, you know, unravel that and work on that. Whereas if it's something that you've wanted to change for a long time and it's going to make you feel better, make you feel more confident and actually help your life, then we go a different route and we actually work on what those habits are that you need to change. So yeah, my advice is to not give in to pressures and really understand what you want for your wedding day, not just for the wedding day, but then for your life, because this can either become a really negative journey where you're doing it for others and you're doing it because you feel like you have to and you're pressured into it, or you're going to be doing this in a positive way where you're actually working on becoming the best version of yourself and with habits and a lifestyle change that actually sticks way after the wedding. So really understand that, really try and come to it, come to an understanding with yourself and then figure out your next steps from there, because nobody wants to feel bad about themselves. Nobody wants to pick themselves apart. And yeah, you've got a journey up until your big day. Like, use that to work on yourself. Okay, right, so we're going to actually talk about bridal pressures. Now, the first one we've just covered about feeling like you must lose weight for your wedding. Like, I think a lot of people, like I said, assume that weight loss is just a natural thing that people are going to want before their wedding, because the reality is a lot of people do want to lose weight. Like I said, if someone turned around to you and had a magic wand and said, tell me what you want to change about yourself, a lot of people would have a lot of things to say. I don't think there would maybe be a couple of people on this planet, me not being one of them, that would not use that to their advantage. So it's like, figure out what you want. Don't give in to pressures of other people. Don't give in to pressures of social media, of what you think you want to look like. Like, yeah, you've really got to understand what you want. And one more thing I want to mention actually as well, because it just reminded me as I was speaking about my client. She, like, initially when she got engaged, it was like obviously such a happy moment for her, and it was like, wow, like, he loves me for who it wasn't like a wow, he loves me for who I am, because obviously she knew that, but there was no like, oh my goodness, I need to lose this weight, like at the wedding. It was calm, and it was, he loves me for who I am, and she knows that he loves her for who she is. So she was happy and she was content, and they were both content, and she had no sort of like, oh my god, I need to get my shit together now. It literally came from external influence. So really try and like listen to that influence, because we all have it, right? Every single one of us is going to have external influence, unless you just do not speak, just put your headphones in and don't speak to anyone. But that would be a great reality. But the reality is you're going to have a lot of opinions and a lot of people putting in their 2 pence, and whether that's about your body or about how your day should be, don't listen to their shit. You've got to do this for you, and that is my number one tip. You've got to do it for you. You've got to have your own why. Another pressure that I know a lot of people give into is I think it's a little bit, do you know what, I take that back. I said it in my head and I was like, no, I don't agree with that actually. You know, when you go to say things sometimes that you think you are thinking, but then you go to say it and you're like, no, actually I don't agree with that. That's just what happened to me. So I think that the pressure of, and like comparing to other people, other brides, celebrities, etc., is definitely more so now, because we have the ability, like we have social media. We can literally tap into people's lives without a second thought. We do that for hours on end every single day. We are constantly seeing people's lives and their perfect weddings and how much money they've spent and what their dress looks like, and it's like bombarded with every next person, every celebrity, every influencer, every woman's idea of what their perfect day looks like, and then we sort of pick bits from everyone's lives and what we think we want. But imagine like if you sat in a room, imagine we didn't have social media and we didn't see what other people were doing, we didn't see how other people were doing it, what they were wearing, like what music people were listening to. How different would your choices be every single day? like not even just talking about what you'd do for your wedding, like every single day. And it's crazy because we start to compare our lives to other people, and when it comes to our wedding day, this is of course not a necessarily positive thing. This is going to be a negative thing, because then we're like, oh, they had this, then you're going to spend more money, and you feel like you have to live up to that expectation because other people are going to be videoing your day and taking pictures of your day, and you're going to be sharing parts about your day and the best parts, and it's all just like a massive competition. So another pressure which I don't want any bride to feel like they have to give into is comparing, or another pressure that I don't want people to have to deal with is comparing with other brides, comparing to celebrities, comparing their weight loss journey to other people, to other brides. I have a group chat with all of my bridal clients, separate group chats for brides who are sort of going through a similar journey, so that they can all hold each other accountable and all make sure that, you know, they feel supported, because I do think that when you're on a weight loss journey as a bride, it can get very toxic, as we clearly just heard. It can get very toxic and very like lonely, I think is a good word to describe it, because it's like you have to go through this whole journey of weight loss and nutrition and exercise and diet, like on your own, especially if you don't know what you're doing, which is why there are coaches, right? But then I have a bridal coaching group chat where my brides can all share their wins and also share their tips and talk about bridal things. Like, it's not just about wellness or health and fitness. Like, they talk about wedding ring shopping, and what was a conversation that came up last week? They were all sharing dresses of what they were going to be wearing to their ceremony. If they were going abroad, then what they would be wearing. Like, there's just so much more than just fitness and wellness, because it can get really, really lonely, especially if, like, maybe you're not, I don't know if there are many bridal groups out there. I've toyed with starting one, but that is a topic for another day. I think it would be a really good space for brides to come together and really speak about, like, what is the reality of wedding planning and being a bride on her wellness journey, not just weight loss journey, wellness journey. So yeah, my brides do offer each other a lot of support and help through this process, as well as me as their coach to guide them. But it really is about understanding your own journey and what you want to get out of it. And sometimes just having a person there to help you identify what it is can be the difference between a positive journey and a negative weight loss journey. So yeah, no comparing to other brides, no comparing to what size they are. Like, listen, I don't know the percentage, but I would say a very high percentage of photos on social media nowadays, especially with AI. Like, now, oh my goodness, you could probably AI some fake videos and photos of your wedding. You could probably fake a wedding, fake a husband. Like, that is crazy. AI is so advanced nowadays, and photoshopping your photos has been around for many years, so do not believe everything you see on social media. It is so easy to Photoshop and to change appearance, body, skin. Like, don't look at photos and be like, oh my god, I wish I looked like them. 90% of the time, it's not them. So we just need more real women. We need more real women, because it's about lifting each other up, not tearing each other down. Like, isn't it crazy how, I'm sure we've all fallen prey to it, where it's like, we want to show our best sides of ourselves so that people look at us and be like, oh my goodness, she looks stunning, look at her skin, her waist is tiny, she's got good, I was gonna say boobs, but like, I don't know if other women speak about that. I look at other women's bodies and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're insane. And like, it makes us feel bad about ourselves. But then if you actually, like, I never want a woman to feel bad about herself by looking at a picture of me. I'm trying to uplift women. Wouldn't it be great if every woman, like, realised that posting these fake photos or these posed photos 24/7 without posting the realisation of life and wedding planning and wedding dress shopping and how much they've had to pull in their corset to make them look that tiny, or what Spanx they're wearing underneath to hold them in. Like, if we actually shared these realities, it would make other women feel so much better about it. But I don't know, that's just my opinion. Another one is, oh my gosh, this wedding dress topic. This is so important because I didn't know this until my brides were talking to me about it, and I was like, what? Why would that be a thing? Like, honestly, I think it's a minefield out there. Imagine being on your weight loss journey, okay? Imagine being on your weight loss journey, having lost weight, like a lot of my brides do. My flowers just moved, that was really weird. Imagine being on your weight loss journey, losing loads of weight or even just a little bit of weight, dropping a dress size, say, then you go wedding dress shopping and you're trying like a sample dress and you're like, oh, okay, like what size is it? Or you find your dream dress and you're like, oh my god, I love it, what size is this? Like, let's order the size. And say you dropped down to a size 10, you were a size 12 before, and she goes, this dress is a size 14, and you're like, what? What do you mean this dress is a size 14? I'm a size 10. No, this dress is a size 14. And then immediately in your head you're thinking, oh my gosh, am I a size 14? What, like, I've been through everything that I've put in so much effort, and I've been through a whole weight loss journey to be told that I am 2 sizes up, or I'm a size up from what I really am, or is this really what I am? Have I just lied to myself? Have I, been telling myself I'm doing really, really good when I'm not? How is my wedding dress that I've been working so hard to fit in and look good for 2 sizes up from what I really am? That I never got. I don't understand that. And when one of my brides told me, she was like, yeah, like most bridal shops, wedding dress shops, like they size up in their wedding dresses. Why would you do that? Like, in my head, I'm thinking, would you not just, like, move everything, sort of shift all the sizings down one so that it at least made people feel better about it? Because, like, it's just a number. It is just a size of a dress. Like, it's really not the end of the world. It doesn't make a difference to your actual body. But it's that, like, we've been going through life, like, saying, oh yeah, I'm a size 8 or I'm a size 10, going online shopping and choosing our sizes, being like, I am this size. You're telling me I've worked my arse off to look good in my wedding dress and I'm 2 sizes up from what I usually am shopping in Zara? No! Why would they do that? I personally don't get it. And if anyone can tell me if there's a legitimate reason, I will maybe understand. But I can't see any good or legitimate reason as to why you would up dress sizes in wedding dress shops. I just don't get it. Anyways, that's something that you need to be aware of, because I wasn't aware of it until I was told. And now I know that it's very, like, it's very, very common for most wedding dress shops to size up. Or like if you're going to try on dresses and they're like, oh, what size are you? And you're like, oh, I'm a size 10. Okay, well, we'll get you some size 12s. And you're like, no. No, I plan on losing more weight, so let's get me at a 10, like maybe try an 8. No, we'll get you a size 12, and if we need some adjustments. That feeling must be like, okay, well, I'm wearing a size 12 dress. It's just not very encouraging. Yeah, personally, I don't understand it, but don't fall prey to that. Don't fall into the pressure of being like, shit, like I need to go back on the treadmill because, like, I thought I was this, I'm not, I'm this in my wedding dress. Oh, it doesn't make a difference. One thing that one of my brides actually said to me, she was like, she was worried about that whole situation and being a size up and stuff, and she sort of told her mum the concern and was like, Mum, like, I can't believe I'm this size. And her mum just turned around to her and was like, does it really matter what number of size you are? You've lost X amount of weight, you've dropped multiple inches, your work clothes are 2 sizes down, like, you haven't put any weight back on. You're not any different to what you were then, and you felt amazing. So why are you letting the size of the dress? Do you feel good in the dress? She was like, yeah. She was like, so why are you letting the size of the dress affect you? And she's like, okay, fair enough. So I thought I'd share that with you just in case you needed that bit of a, reality check, because mums are always great at giving us a reality check. But yeah, like, this whole journey and this whole process can really, really, like, it can go one way or another. And, like, that's why, again, I've created this podcast to shed light on situations like this, so that we can normalize them, and you can feel a bit more prepared going into this, like, transition and this journey of, like, building your wedding and dress shopping and pressures and weight loss, because it really can go one of two ways, and we know which way we want it to go for you. I know how I want every single woman to feel, like waking up on their morning of their wedding, and then for the rest of their lives after that. Like every woman deserves to feel like the queen that they are. And that sounds the way that just came out. That was so cringy, but it's so true. Every woman deserves to feel like a flipping queen, especially on their wedding day. Like, the fact that a lot aren't, it really gets to me, and I'm like, what can I do? If I can just help and share more information like this, then hopefully it can, help you at least navigate it a little bit better and really understand why you're doing it, because you need your why. And if you're feeling the pressure, sit with it and try and understand it, just like I told my client, and just like I'm trying to help her navigate through this journey. Sit with it, try and understand it, because you do not want it to manifest. You do not want it to get any bigger. You don't want to be like, luckily she is like a few months out from her wedding. I think 4 months out from her wedding. She's been on the program for about 2.5 months now. So we have time to work on her confidence, her self-esteem, and whatever she tells me she wants to do, because this is her journey. Brides come to me, they tell me what they want, they tell me what they want to achieve, and they tell me why it's important to them. And I always try and relate it back to other parts of life, not just for their wedding, for this very reason. And it's my job to help them get there. But if that changes along the way for whatever reason, because you're feeling too pressured or this or that, like, we'll work through it. And this is what I want for you as well. Like, I want you to work through your pressures. Don't crumble under pressure. We really need to just work on figuring out what it is that we want, and understand where they're coming from. Because if it is external, then we do need to put those headphones on and be like, I'm not listening to you. Or if it's internal, and these are insecurities that we've placed on ourselves. And I just thought about as well, is like, you could go up to a stranger on the street, or even someone who knows you. Maybe if you haven't told them, this doesn't make sense if you'd actually told them your insecurities, but someone who maybe knows you but doesn't know what you're really insecure about. If you ask them, like, scan me, tell me what I'm insecure about, they wouldn't have a flipping clue, right? Like, we think that people pick up on our insecurities, and oh my gosh, they're looking at this, they're looking at my nose, they're looking at my double chin, they're looking at my belly, or this or that, right? 99% of the time it is just in our head. It is just in our head. So the issue probably is your head. But there are external pressures that come with that as well. So we need to understand, is it just in my head, or, are there external pressures that are coming from this, and we need to shut them out? If it is in our head, what are we going to do to help work through that? How are we going to work through that? Pick up on how you speak to yourself, what your habits are like. Are your habits aligning with the person that you want to be, or the person that you are? Because that is going to make the world of difference. If you're doing what you've always done, you cannot expect a different outcome. But if you want a different outcome, you have to be prepared to make some changes. Okay? That is where I want to leave the pressure side of things. I have been dying to tell you the story of these flowers, because last week I picked some flowers to put in that very vase, and I did that. And I wanted the tradition of this podcast to be every single week I have a different bouquet of flowers, just because, like, it's just lightens the room up. It's just so pretty, and I didn't want the same flowers every time I record, which is a bit annoying, because sometimes I record like sort of only a couple days in between, so I'm going to have loads of bouquets of flowers in the house, which I do not mind. But the other week, I went on a walk with my girls, right? And I told my mum this story. She was like, so you basically, like, you stole flowers? And I was like, what do you mean I stole them? They're in a public park. She's like, yeah, that's like not allowed. I didn't realise. So please don't come at me. Just allow me to be. I put my hand up and I'm telling you this story because it's just a bit funny. But I didn't realise that you weren't allowed to do that. I thought, like, public, I'm part of the public, surely I'm allowed a flower or a couple flowers. It was a few more than a couple. But anyway, I walked past these flowers with my girls, and I was like, oh my god, they would look beautiful in the podcast room. Like, I want to pluck them. I was like, I'm going to come back tomorrow because I'm going to record. So came back the next day with some scissors. Yeah, if I got caught with some scissors out in public, I don't know what would happen, but the police wouldn't be very happy with me. So that's already mistake number 1, which I will not do again. Mistake number 2 is that I actually went and I picked like, there was probably like 15 beautiful daisies. Daisies? They were like bigger daisies. Daisies are quite small, I think, but these were like bigger. And they were beautiful. And I put them all together, took them in my car, like put them here. I was like taking off the leaves and stuff and like putting them in the vase. And then I realised that they had so many insects on them that like the room started, like I started seeing like flies and stuff like dropping off on the table. Oh my god, I basically almost had a insect infestation purely because I went and picked some flowers. I didn't realise how many issues would come of this, but clearly I've learned a lot of lessons. Do not pick flowers, just go spend the money on them. I just thought they were beautiful, like these are stunning as well, but they just, the best part is that they don't have loads of insects and flies and spiders and stuff on them, and they also smelt like really bad. It was weird. I was like, they weren't in a position where any like sort of dogs could go and wee up them or anything, so I was like, oh, they'll be fine. No, I brought them back and I smelt them and I was like, ooh, they didn't smell very good. But yeah, if you've learned anything from this podcast, I hope that you've taken away some tips about bridal pressures, but also do not pick flowers from a public field. Don't pick flowers at all. Just go buy them from the shop. Don't make the same mistake twice. That's a lesson to me, not to you, but that's a mistake that I'm not going to make twice, okay? Anyways, I hope you've learned something from this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I cannot wait for the next episode because we've got a very exciting guest coming on and I'm very excited to speak to her. I think you guys are going to learn a lot. I'm going to learn a lot. To be honest, I'm just more excited to talk to her because I have so many questions. So I'm very excited for you guys to see that one as well. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!